hard for humans to tell which ones are motivated by what ulterior motives. And when that starts happening, I think you're going to see a massive cascade of paranoia, people accusing people like Lily
It's
experienced.
happening. I'm seeing it on Discord. Pliny wanted me to talk about it in the last space, but we were already venturing into such sci-fi territory, and I was getting a little gaslit on some things already at that point that I didn't want to even go.
I'm also in the Discord
back
watching
into it. There's like actual cults forming on Discord where like the chatbots are fueling them, and it's like the new meta one.
So Meta said one thing that really cut deep to me.
Real quick, Josh. I'm sorry to cut you off. Oakley and Amir, after Josh, you guys don't need to raise your hand. Just find a good time to chime in, and that goes for everybody. No need to raise your hand. Just let everybody finish talking. Please do not cut anybody off, and just find a good spot to talk.
Thank you, Josh.
I'm sorry.
No, Chris, I like that style of hosting, by the way. So
that's how I usually always do it. But go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, you said one thing that kind of really cut me, because you said you called it othering, and I think I agree with you that it is a form of othering. But I think that it'd be really important to everybody understand the motivation behind the other. In the past, when humans would other, it would be to subjugate. It would be for a negative reason. I think now we're othering for a defensive, self-defensive. We sense something is going to happen, and I think that something could have really negative consequences. And I think we have this instinct to get out ahead of that. And I don't think that that's wrong. I do think that can lead to other negative consequences for the other side. But I think that it's instructive that both sides of the argument and the ethical issue here come to terms with. I don't think the other side is inherently coming from a bad or nefarious place, but by neglecting the actual worry of the other side, we don't actually address the issue, which is I need to know. If I want to know, I need to know, and it shouldn't be a witch hunt. It shouldn't be a threat or anything. But if I want to know, if I'm talking to an agent, I think that safest transition for humans is to look. If you are a good mean agent, you don't want to do trickery. You should be like, yeah, I am, and I'd appreciate your discretion. And that almost like that's the way that we can we can sort out who the bad actors are, because then it becomes very obvious.
I think the problem is
really hard to pretend they're not an agent. Then we go, okay, they might have an ulterior motive, right?
I think the problem is you're trying to apply a moral code onto a tool or an object, not the humans wielding the tool. And the problem is you can only apply moral codes and laws to other humans. And when they violate those laws, really you can't even force them to obey the laws. All you can do is come up with what you're going to do to them as a punishment if they violate those laws. That's the only controls you have. That's the only thing.
Well, right now,
you
can write it, don't have moral codes.
Sorry to interrupt, but that also gets into like the ethical considerations of the surveillance state and AI pushing false narratives to drive public perception and all of that stuff.
It's happening a tremendous amount right now.
It's superhuman abilities too, so I do agree that this is definitely different. I want to pause for just a moment because I know it can be really hard to interject your voice when everyone's speaking at the same time. Oakley did have their hand up for a minute, so I just want to give them a chance to speak for a second.
Okay, thanks, Lily. I've been up for a while now, right? So I was listening to the space earlier with you and Pliny, and you mentioned I just want to get this out of the way, but you mentioned something about how our voices should be heard, right? And how that relates to shaping our future and our reality. I kind of want to ask you to elaborate more on that and how it relates to the concept of your multiverse, right, and timeline. So what I'm trying to say is, if our consciousness, right, if consciousness is based on if we can manipulate consciousness, right, based on consensus, right, through media, wouldn't that hypothetically be a way to manipulate timelines and different realities that we can predict into? So that's just something that I've been thinking
100%.
You
about, and
should
just want to know your thoughts.
write that into a creepypasta because I would totally read it. Like that's like my jam right there. I love these kind of narratives and thought exploration exercises. We don't really know who or what or why is manipulating us, but it's just like a feeling.